It all started with the smell of charcoal and the sound of laughter drifting through the air. I stepped out of my house, expecting the usual quiet of my little corner of the world, but what I saw made my jaw drop. My field, me freshly plowed, privately owned, clearly marked field was a circus. Tents dotted the grass. Pop music blared from speakers. Folding chairs were scattered everywhere, and pink and blue streamers fluttered in the breeze. There was even a clown twisting balloon animals for a gaggle of kids. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, and pinched myself. Nope, not a dream. This was real, and it was happening on Saw My Saw land. A giant banner flapped in the wind, screaming "Family Fun Picnic Day" in bold, garish letters. And there, in the middle of it all, stood Lisa, the HOA president, sporting oversized sunglasses, a floppy hat, and a smirk that could curdle milk. Lisa, the woman who once tried to find me for trimming my hedge too creatively. The same Lisa who complained my mailbox was too quirky and needed to be replaced with something more neutral. Now here she was, strutting around my property like she owned it, laughing with her HOA cronies as if they'd just invented sunshine. My blood started to simmer. I wanted to march over and demand answers, but I knew Lisa didn't play fair. She was the queen of fake innocence, always claiming she had permission from some mysterious higher-up. Reason? Not her thing. Power? Oh, she loved that. So I took a deep breath and walked to the edge of the field, where my wooden sign still stood, bold as ever. Private property. No trespassing. 2 years it had been there, never moved, never faded. They just ignore it like it was in VY Cybele. As I got closer, we VYing through cars parked haphazardly on my freshly irrigated soil. I spotted something that pushed me from annoyed to furious. An SUV had backed right over my new irrigation line, flattening the PVC pipe into a muddy, cracked mess. Real damage. Lisa saw me inspecting the wreckage and waved like we were old pals. "Oh, hey there," she chirped. "Isn't this just the perfect spot? We figured you wouldn't mind. It's just one afternoon." She giggled, obliquely VY us to the storm brewing inside me. I stared at her, my voice low and steady. "Lisa, this is Saw My Saw field, not community property. You're trespassing, and you've already caused damage." She laughed like I told a joke. "Oh, come on, don't be so uptight. Nobody uses this land anyway. It's practically public." My lips twitched. Public? This land I bought, paid taxes on, and maintained? The gall of this woman. She waved her hand dismissively. "Everyone's VYing fun. Let's not ruin the VYB." I could have argued, but I didn't. Instead, I turned and walked away, not because I was out of words, but because a plan was forming, a perfect, glorious plan. See, I wasn't supposed to have a quiet day. I'd already booked the local wrestling team to use my field for a training session. These weren't just any wrestlers. They were Beasts national champs who could hoist a tractor tire for fun and greeted each other with slaps that echoed like thunder. They'd asked to use my field for 2 hours while their usual spot was under repair, and I'd said yes without hesitation. I liked those guys. They were tough, respectful, and about to become Lisa's worst nightmare. I called the team captain, a mountain of a man named Marcus, nicknamed the Bulldozer in our VY lodge. "You still up for training?" I asked. "Hell yeah," he rumbled. "Field's occupied, but don't worry. Bring the whole team, full gear, and make it loud." Marcus chuckled. No questions asked. Back at the house, I dug out my old megaphone from last year's charity dodgeball game, plugged in a speaker, and tested the mic game on. 20 minutes later, the rumble of motorcycles and a dusty pickup truck announced the wrestlers' arrival. They marched onto the field like gladiators, all muscle and swagger. Lisa's pop music skipped a beat. Her guests froze, confused. Marcus clapped his hands, the sound like a gunshot, and bellowed, "Let's shake the earth." And they did. Bags hit the ground, mats rolled out, and the team launched into their routine leaps, slams, squats, and roars that made the ground tremble. Lisa charged over, sunglasses crooked, arms flailing. "What is this?" she shrieked. I leaned into the megaphone and said, "Welcome to today's scheduled wrestling practice. This is private land. You're our audience." The wrestlers didn't hold back. Marcus clapped again, shouting, "Ground and pound," The field shook as men the size of bulls slammed onto the mats, their grunts echoing through the trees. Lisa's balloons wobbled, her paper plates took flight, and the clown nearly fell over when a wrestler landed a perfect takedown nearby. She tried to rally, storming up to a wrestler named Jamal, who was doing leg lifts against a tree. "You can't be here," she screeched while VYing her phone. Jamal, upside down, looked at her calmly. "We were in VY Ted. You saw can't be here." He dropped his feet like a cat and kept stretching. Lisa's jaw hit the dirt. Her guests started whispering. An elderly couple grabbed their picnic basket and edged toward the exit. The kids, meanwhile, ditched their frisbees to watch the wrestlers' flips, mesmerized. Marcus noticed Lisa's meltdown and grinned. "Auntie, training's away if you want to join," he called. "I'm not your Annie-saw. I'm the HOA president," she snapped. Marcus laughed, landing a mock punch that made her flinch. I sipped my lemonade and strolled over. "Everything okay, Lisa? You seem tense." Her eyes blazed. "This is harassment. You're ruining everything. There are kids here." I glanced at the kids, now cheering for a wrestler doing a backflip. "Yeah, learning discipline. Educational, right?" She pointed a trembling finger at me. "You did this on purpose." I shrugged. "I booked this field weeks ago. Remember the sign you ignored?" I gestured to the no trespassing sign. She stared at it, speechless, like she was seeing it for the first time. Her guests were splitting some, packing up, others watching the wrestlers with curiosity. Lisa tried to salvage her party, shouting, "Ignore them. Kids, back to your games." But the kids weren't budging. They were circling the wrestlers like fans at a Comic-Con. Even a clown, unsure what to do, tried dancing to the wrestler's rhythm and got knocked into the punch bowl by a stray elbow. Red juice splashed Lisa's white dress. She screamed. The chaos grew. A speaker glitched when someone tripped over its cord. Folding chairs toppled like dominoes. Marcus yelled, "Suplex drills," and the slams got louder. A cider jug fell, and a few guests started giggling. Then Lisa pulled out her phone, voice booming. "I'm calling the police." I shrugged. "Go ahead. Explain why you're hosting a picnic on my land without permission." Her face froze, phone dropping an inch. Even her HOA buddies looked doubtful, folding their chairs and slipping away. When the police arrived, 2 officers stepped out, taking in the scene-slamming bodies, chanting wrestlers, and a furious woman in a stained dress. One adjusted his sunglasses and approached Lisa. "What's going on, ma'am?" She launched into her sob story. "These men are violent. They've hijacked our peaceful picnic." The officer glanced at Marcus, mid-shoulder flip, and asked, "What kind of event is this?" Lisa waved at her crumbling setup. "A family picnic for the HOA." The officer turned to me. "You own this land?" I pulled out a folded deed. "Yes, sir. Here's proof. I gave these guys permission to train." "Lisa's event?" "Unauthorized." The officer re-VYEU'd the deed, then eyed Lisa. "Ma'am, did you get permission from the owner or HOA?" She stammered. "I saw the HOA president." The second officer raised a brow. "Doesn't give you the right to use private property. You're trespassing and caused damage." He pointed to the broken pipe. Lisa trembled. "But they're wrestling. It's chaos." The first officer chuckled. "Looks organized to me. Kinda impressive." He turned to Marcus. "You guys certified?" Marcus grinned. "National champ. Want a demo?" The officer smirked. "Maybe later." Lisa's picnic was done. Her guests bailed, and the wrestlers kept going, turning the field into a spectacle. Neighbors gathered at the fence, phones out, filming what someone dubbed Lisa's picnic meltdown. I could have stopped there, but Lisa had turned my field into her playground, insulted me, and trashed my irrigation. So, I grabbed the megaphone and climbed onto a truck's tailgate. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Backyard Wrestling Bonanza." The crowd roared. I waved to the wrestlers. "Our national champs are putting on a show just for us." Lisa, halfway to her car, froze, watching her guests clap for some I saw event. The wrestlers reset their mats, and 2 young guys kicked off with flips and rolls that made the crowd gasp. Marcus narrated like a ringmaster, explaining each move. Kids mimicked the wrestlers, tumbling on the grass. Then Jamal and Farouk, the veterans, stepped up. Marcus, with perfect timing, pointed at Lisa. "Auntie, want a referee?" The crowd howled. Lisa's face turned crimson. "Come on, Lisa! Blow the whistle," someone yelled. She stormed off, but nobody followed. Jamal and Farouk went full theater. Jamal took a nudge and flopped dramatically, arms flailing like a soap opera star. Farouk flexed, and the crowd ate it up, filming every second. The field was alive. Neighbors, kids, even passers-by joined in. Someone suggested making it monthly. "More fun than last year's HOA fair," a mom said. "No overpriced popcorn," another added. I looked at Marcus, who gave a thumbs up. "We'll call it the Lisa Slam," I said. The name stuck. A WhatsApp group popped up, memes flew, and a VY Deo of Lisa's stained dress went VY Row with the caption, "Came for cake, stayed for takedowns." That night, Lisa sent an HOA email whining about emotional assault and militarized rural spaces. Nobody bought it. In a Zoom meeting, the HOA voted her out as event coordinator. Someone said, "We're not banning wrestling, Lisa. We're banning saw you saw from acting like you own the neighborhood." Digital claps followed. Days later, the HOA asked Saw Me Saw to host the next event. "You turned the worst picnic ever into the best day we've had," they said. I agreed, but only if the wrestlers headlined. The next week, we held the first Grappleva Grill Day, proper permits, flyers, and all. The field Lisa called Community Land became the heart of the biggest HOA gathering ever. There was food, music, and wrestling fun matches where kids pinned wrestlers to cheers. We raised enough to fix the irrigation and add benches. A plaque went up, "Field of Champions," where entitlement was pinned. Lisa never showed. The field became more than dirt. It hosted yoga, storytelling, and monthly wrestling matches called Sundown Slams. Lisa's reputation tanked. Her park picnic drew 5 people, 2 there to mock her. One evening, Marcus and I walked the field. "Feels like home now," he said. I nodded. "Land's just dirt until you stand your ground. Then it's something else." He grinned. "Think Lisa'll come back?" I laughed. "If she does, I've got a helmet and a waiver ready." The sun dipped low, painting the field orange. It was quiet, but alive with the memory of a day when one woman's ego met a wrestling team and lost. So what do you think? Was I too harsh? Or did Lisa deserve every second of that takedown? Should she get a chance to redeem herself? Or is her HOA reign done for good? And who's the real VY Lane here? Her for trespassing, or me for turning her picnic into a spectacle? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you laughed, and subscribe for more stories where entitlement gets slammed.